Hey guys, this will make our video 38 of the Women of the Bible Weekly. We're going to talk about Shiphrah and Puah. And these were midwives who refused to kill the Hebrew baby boys. We're going to be reading from Exodus chapter 1, verses 15 through 22. And it says, "And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, When ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him, but if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives, and said unto them, Why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered the midwives come in unto them. Therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, Every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive. And it says in the notes at the bottom, Pharaoh's demands of the midwives are quite abominable. Not only does he propose acts of violence on the innocent, but he also passes on all responsibility for the death of these Hebrew infants. He wants the midwives to solve this natural dilemma of the Hebrew birth rate, but the midwives fear God more than Pharaoh. So they refuse to put the infant boys to death. Pharaoh's plan backfires. God rewards the midwives for fearing him by enabling them to be fruitful themselves. Some scholars suggest that barren women were often made midwives. God also records the names of two of these God-fearing Hebrew midwives as an example to believers throughout the centuries. Okay. Phone's ringing. I don't know who's calling. I don't have one in here. The name Puah was Egyptian, and it means to cry out. And every single day I call my... Okay. The name Puah is Egyptian, and it means to cry out. And then the name Shiphrah, I guess it was Hebrew too. I don't know. I never did find that. No, it was Egyptian, because they were Egyptian. It says handsome trumpet that does good. And I wanted to add something this week. Every single day I call my family's names out in prayer. If Jesus himself walked up to you this morning and asked, What do you want me to do for you? What would you ask for? Write it on a piece of paper and circle it. You have to put a circle of prayer around it. Pray for it for 7 days, 1 week at least. Refuse to speak or say anything but prayer or praise about it for 7 days. We have a tendency to talk ourselves out of the victories that are about to unfold before us, when there is a delay, no evidence, annoyance, or opposition. In Proverbs 18:21 it says, Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. I wanted to add, Joshua watched the people who were going with Abraham talk themselves out of victory for 40 years. They complained and murmured and said one to another, Let us return to Egypt. Every day they talked like that. God gave them another year in the wilderness. In Numbers 13, God tells Moses, and he sends out 12 spies. Joshua was one of them, and Caleb came back and said, We are well able to overcome it, to take the land. But 10 of them talked the whole camp out of the victory that God wanted them to have. Joshua was determined to never again get to the place where he was, on the threshold of victory, and allow words and conversations and people's discussions to talk him out of the victory God was unfolding. Joshua 6 tells us the story of God's instructions to Joshua as the children of Israel were about to conquer the first city. He said, "You shall not shout or make any noises with your voice, nor shall a word proceed out of your mouth until the day I say to you, shout. Then you shall shout." I guess he was tired of all their murmuring and complaining. All too often we start talking negative conversation in every life, every need. There is a okay. All too often we start talking negative conversation. In every life, every need, there is a victory unfolding. In your life, if you are trusting God and holding on to His promises. That's why I said to write it, circle it, and pray and praise about it. Hold on to God's promises. We talk ourselves out of His blessings by being negative and ungrateful. So that was our lesson for this week. I hope that bottom part made sense. I don't know why it was so difficult to read it. I guess the devil's fighting me on it. But that is our lesson to end this week. I will come back next week with our next 3 lessons. I love each and every one of you. Don't forget to like. If you have any comments, comment. And don't forget to subscribe. I love y'all. Bye.